Okay, while I'm sitting outside and it's such a nice day and Sue's gone, ladies' cards day. Monday is ladies' cards. You really ought to say it's ladies' wine drinking day, because I think that's what they do. Let me see if I can get some news. Huh? Let me find some. There's always a bunch of news. Let me get some, try to get some updated news. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Says, villager resigns from powerful governing body in the villages. Kind of looks familiar to me. I used to work for the CDD office. I bet at one point I've met this guy. He just looks familiar. Anyway, villager resigned from a powerful governing body in the villages. Arthur Rowe of the village of Briar Meadow. Briar Meadows is further up north. Gorgeous area up there. Has resigned as a supervisor of the Village Center Community Development District. I bet I met this guy. He was appointed to the board in 2013. Rowe indicated in a resignation letter that was CC'd to Village's Vice President of Community Relations, Gary Lester, that he is stepping down due to health reasons. In his resignation letter, Rowe indicated he would like to see the villager Doug Tharp take over his supervisor's seat. Tharp is a former president of the village's homeowners association. I smell trouble there. Villages register complaints about phone books left in their driveways. That sounds like really a minor complaint, really, but it's not just that. It's also the HOA paper and some other stuff. See, here's what happens, and they'd probably do it. They did it in Indiana too. The free papers, the phone books and things, they just drive around and they throw it in your driveway, right? The heck is that? But around here, you got to remember, half the people here are snowbirds. They're not here. And so all summer long, if you're a full-timer like I am, they go around and they throw the HOA paper in everybody's driveway. And all the full-time people do around here is we're going around our neighborhood and we're picking up all these papers because they blow everywhere because the people aren't here. And yeah, that's kind of can be a problem that they do that. I would think that'd be another way that they could deliver that HOA paper free to everybody without throwing it in their driveway. I don't know what else, the solution would be, but that one's, it's just a problem. It's not a major problem, but it is a problem. It's kind of like district rules. Every district has their rules, and there are just certain people that just feel like, I don't know, that the rules just don't apply to them. One of the main rules is when your dog's outside, it doesn't say that. Your rule says all pets outside the house has to be on a leash. That includes cats. There ain't no shooing cats outside at night and letting them back in the next day. Your cat's liable to disappear anyway. But it has to be on a leash. And there's always a certain amount of people with dogs that seem to think as long as they're standing outside, that dog doesn't have to be on a leash. And that ain't what the rule says. It says if your dog, or it says if your pet is outside your residency, it must be on a leash, or at least in District 10, that's what it says. So that doesn't mean you can be outside with your dog and you don't need to be on a leash. That doesn't mean, the reason why they have that rule, for example, is it prevents dog bites. Because at any given time, you're at dog, and I don't care what you got to say about your dog, that, oh, not my Muffy. No, not her. She's as gentle could be. And that's probably true. But some other dog, if it wasn't on a leash, it could take off and go after your dog. And if it was on a leash, though, it couldn't do that. So, and if your dog was on a leash, you could prevent that. So your animal must be on a leash. You must pick up after your animal. It's just that simple. Some people feel like they don't have to do that. Or it says if your animal does its job, you have to pick up after it. So some people think, well, I'll go to the post office because if they do it up there, I don't have to pick it up. It doesn't say that. It Some people think they can take our animal on a golf course, and that's a big no-no here. They'll get you for that. And they think if our dog takes a dump on a golf course, they don't have to pick it out. That doesn't say that. So I don't know why it's that way. I mean, they love it here because how clean it is, how nice it is, and then they turn around and let their animals defecate on it, and they just leave it there like you know, who cares? Well, I care. Anyway, let's move on. Sumter County's rotten paving work. The Sumter County officials I've spoken with tell me that don't make sense. They are inundated on a daily basis concerning the rotten paving work performed by the developer's contractor. It's obvious that the Morris family allowed the contractor to use the cheapest garbage blacktop to repave our roads and didn't need to be done in the first place. It says, I spent over $2,000 on a sculptured concrete driveway that is covered with car and golf cart black tire marks. Yeah, I can see where that would be really, you know, that'd make me mad too. My only question about this is, I don't know what neighborhood you're in. It makes a difference of where you're at, what district you're in. But how it worked here was, the developer, when they put in these streets, the developer paid to have all these streets put in. And then once all the houses are sold and he gets his bond money back for that district, he moves on to another district. I think it's like 2 years. He puts the supervisors of the district and everything in place for that first 2 years. Then after the two years, they have an election, and then that people in that district elect their own district supervisors. At that point, those roads are turned over to the county, whoever it may be. In my situation, it's Sumter County. So any repaving that goes on around here, it's Sumter County doing it. The developer has nothing to do with that. Any restriping of the roads or anything like that. So I don't know where you're at or what you're doing. I mean, maybe you're in Finney, and I think that's still under developer's control. And that could be right. I don't know. But that's not true everywhere. So just saying. Villagers worried about future of recycling should attend Monday's NSCU-DD meeting. Yeah, China won't take any more plastics and whatever, so everybody's concerned about what we're going to do with these so-called plastic bottles and stuff. I got one for you. How about you just don't buy it? Just leave it on the store shelves. You don't need them water bottles. You really don't. It's a problem worldwide. Plastics is a problem worldwide. The plastic bags at Walmart, why do you need them? Plastic bags they give you at grocery stores, why do you need them? And those are the problems. If they don't recycle them, that's what ends up in the rivers and in the oceans, and it's just plastics is going to be our next big worldwide problem. Okay, this will be my last one. Let me read this to you. Those of you that's thinking about buying in the villages for whatever reasons. This is called All About Value. It says, no matter the economic indicator, the villages ranks as one of the strongest housing markets in the country. Real estate prices appreciate at a rate that even amazes local experts in the market. Loan-to-income ratios even catch the eye of national experts. And there's a big story in the Daily Sun, which I haven't read. It says right here, it says, read this story and many others in Sunday's edition of the Daily Sun. Sounds interesting. But I've always said that. Even if you're not going to live here full time, you're not, right now anyway, unless things change, you're not going to lose any money on your property, unless you pay way too much for it. But I can tell you that even as an investment, the money here right now in the housing market is pretty good. Rent and everything here is pretty substantial. So yeah, if I had any extra money and I wanted to invest it somewhere, I'd seriously consider buying another house and just having it around and renting it out in the winter time, and the rest of the time just let it sit empty. That's what I would do, but that's just me. So I'm not telling you what to do, but the investment here, the money, property values here are right now are pretty secure. And I've always said that. You can take it for what it's worth. You can believe me or not believe me, but it's even in the paper. You can Google it. You can study for yourself. With that being said, I'll just simply say, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you again next week. And that's the news.
See you guys on the other side.